Welcome to the Jones Zone, a podcast by Darryl and JJ Jones.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jones Zone. We have Adriana Conde from Lancy Homes, and they're putting in a track in Placentia. In fact, they've already put in, how many homes have you put in so far?
I would say probably at least, 60, 70% complete.
Okay.
We have about 90 homeowners living in the community already out of 151 units. So we're trucking along.
That's considered phase 1 and 2, and you still have phase 3 and 4 coming, or how?
Oh gosh, we kind of jump around from phases. So we have about 15 phases total, but we never really go in sequence. It just really depends on what we're trying to accomplish with the community to make it accessible for people to come in and out. So yeah, right. We have about 3 or 4 phases remaining out of the community that we're going to be building.
All right. And you, in fact, you were mentioning that you guys acquired some more land in Placentia.
We have, yeah. I mean, that's the word on the street. And I would say the best way to always get the most current information is always through our website, because we always post the coming soon communities. But yes, we will be building, expanding in Placentia, and I would say maybe early next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, tell us, since we're on the topic of your website, tell us the website. We'll put it in the show notes as well.
For sure. Yeah. It's lancyhomes.com.
And how do you spell Lancy?
LANDSEA.
So land and sea, but no and in there. It's just land, sea,
homes. Yep. You got it.
.com.
Yeah. And you can find all of our, current communities, future communities, and you can kind of even see the interactive maps of the sites. We have virtual tours, so it's really informative.
Awesome. Yeah, we were talking before in terms of the different types of builders, and you were describing Lancy as more of a boutique. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I would describe it, just really special projects. I mean, quaint would definitely be a word for Placentia, with 151 units nestled in Placentia. I mean, being super close to, Anaheim, Brea, Yorba Linda. We tend to pick up some of those, special projects, I would say. But we go as far as, master plan communities. We had a master plan community back in the day in Lake Forest, 500 units. And then we are now in Fontana. So we go from boutique to, master plan. But yeah.
Well, tell the audience, so whereabouts in Placentia are you?
We're nestled in the middle of everything. So
Orangethorpe and Van Buren.
And
right?
Van Buren,
okay.
Exactly. We're by the train tracks.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you one street over and you're in Yorba Linda. But yeah,
Awesome.
That's where we are.
Well, I've got a series of questions too. So I'm not am I a professional podcaster? I'm not a professional speaker or interviewer. So I'm a real estate broker here in Orange County that thought this would be helpful for a lot of people who are in the real estate community. So give me an overview of the housing development that you just talked about in Placentia.
Yes, I mean, so again, it's charming. It's a charming community. You wouldn't expect it to be a new home development when you first drive into the community. You go through some industrial, so obviously we are enhancing the community in the way of bringing new homes. So it's like a blend of some industrial, new home.
Is townhomes or condos?
These are condos, 3-story. Townhomes ranging anywhere from 700 square feet up to 1,300 square feet, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Drive into a gated community.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So it's a gated community.
It's a gated community.
Very nice.
Yeah, which you don't find those often with new homes unless they're a master plan community. So that's a really special feature of Hudson. By the way, that's the name of the community. It's Hudson. By Lancy Homes.
By Lancy Homes.
Yes.
Okay, and then how many floor plans do you have?
We have 3. So 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms.
This is great for the affordable housing, correct?
I would say for sure. I mean, you just don't find new homes starting in a 1 bedroom, right? So you tend to see your 3, your 4 bedrooms. Yeah, this gives people really an opportunity to be able to enter the market, whether it's a first home. It's exciting. The floor plans are, like I said, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, 2-car garages. So it's a very traditional living. The setting is very traditional. So people can, still drive into a garage and go straight into their homes.
I was going to say, they all have garages.
They all have garages. Yeah, and on a special day, from your 3rd floor, some of the buildings have views of Mount Baldy.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. I get that a lot oftentimes where folks will say, hey, we even have a view of Disney's fireworks. So any kind of view is good.
Exactly.
So tell me more. What are the features and amenities of your complex there?
That's a great question. So I would say because of the profile of our buyers, we have buyers that are single, young professionals, ranging, from early to mid 30s. Some have young families, some don't have families. There's an amenity for everybody. So from the time that you drive into the community, there's a tot lot for those people that have the little ones. We've got fire pits. We have barbecue stations. We even have a basketball court. And then we have a dog run. So even
What
those
about pickleball?
we don't have pickleball.
I'm just
However,
kidding,
no,
'cause
it's actually
pickleball's so
really
big.
funny that you bring that up because one of our homeowners said the basketball court is big enough for us to set up our own pickleball. So I would imagine that there's going to be some pickleballing going on.
And then a pool or no
We
pool?
don't have a pool, no,
Okay.
which is the amenities too that we offer is great again for inviting the community to connect, to build roots. No pool, no community center, but then the HOA stays low, right? So you've got a 229 HOA at build out. So again, we're talking about affordability. So
Right.
keeping, things affordable for people to be able to secure a home.
So how does Landsea ensure the durability of their properties?
Yeah. So new homes are unique in the way that the builder's not going to go anywhere. They're going to stand by their product. We offer a 1-year fit and finish. The homeowner knows that we're going to be alongside with them from, the time that we turn the home over to them into a year and after. But most importantly, we work with, high quality subtrades that are working and connecting with the superintendent that's building your home every single day. So, checking in at every stage of construction, all of the different inspections that we have to go through in order to pass city inspections to be able to deliver the homes over to buyers. So yeah, that's one of the ways that they ensure that, people are getting a quality product.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then now, is there a California law that new home builders there's a 10-year, some sort of 10-year warranty?
Yeah, that's part of the fit and finish. So 1 year is the builder. You're assigned a customer care representative that will, let's just say maybe you have an issue with a drawer not opening and closing. They're going to, connect with the subtrade that installed that cabinet and get it fixed for you. But then further than that is electrical, plumbing inside the walls is a 4-year warranty, and then structure is 10 years. So that is a California code.
Well, we were talking before too, because I found interesting. A few years back, I'd visited a new home track, and it was here in Orange County, and they had stainless steel and quartz and all that. And I was talking to the salesperson about. She was saying how they have their next build is going to be in Fontana. I said, yeah, well, you guys really know how to do it up. And you were mentioning that you have your next build, or one of your next projects is going to be in Fontana too. And what I found interesting was the one that I saw in Orange County had stainless steel, quartz. It was all about really kind of high end looking and everything. And I said, hey, you guys really know how to do it up. And I said, so you do these quartz. And she had mentioned, she said, actually in Fontana, we don't have the quartz and we don't have the stainless steel. I think it's interesting to the audience, hopefully, that how you guys actually, in fact, you named it a buyer. What'd you call it in terms of finding your buyer and suiting it to their needs or term
Yeah,
use?
I would say, we're adapting to the buyer profile.
Oh, the buyer profile. That's
Yeah.
right. So you go in a community, talk us to us about how the builder goes about finding out the buyer profile for any particular communities as far as what they like. Do they just track trends? How's that work?
Yeah, I think, well, first and foremost, we work with, elite designers. Landsea Homes has their own in-house design team, following trends, just like any other, I would say probably analytics,
Right.
studying people, probably surveying people, getting feedback from people, and then also like markers. So what worked in past communities and why did it work so well? What could we improve upon? And I think they just adapt according to what they see. And typically at the very beginning of a community, maybe phase 1, 2, as we talked about earlier, you kind of tend to see what's going to be appropriate for the community. So, some communities, a buyer may spend an average of, let's say, $35,000 to $50,000 in upgrades, aside from what the standard home comes with. But then you adapt to another community where it might only be, 10 to 15,000, and that's going to be sufficient for that buyer profile. So yeah, just adapting. But as far as, what is offered, I mean, the design center is like a candy shop. You have anything from hardwood floors, which is more traditional, to the, trendy luxury vinyl, to quartz, to granite. So there's just so many options, and the design team does a fantastic job at ensuring that, we're working with the buyer's budget.
Now, speaking about that, let's say that 35 or 50,000, that can be built into the loan, or how's that
Oh
part
my gosh,
work?
yes, that's such a great question because it is, people don't know if they're having to pay for it out of pocket. And that's actually what my job is, right? At the very beginning, from the time that people walk into the door, is really helping them understand that I'm going to be with them through the entire buying process, the buying journey. And just letting them know that, we're going to be able to break everything down for you. So let's just say that you're going to be purchasing $15,000, $20,000 in upgrades. It is going to be rolled into the total purchase price. What is the payment going to look like? We're going to break it down for you so that they know exactly what to expect. So no surprises at the end.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How the world's evolving and changing and everything with sustainability and eco-friendly practices. What's new on the horizon for new home builders? I mean, for example, I think there's a law here in California that all the new home builders have to provide solar. Is that correct?
That is, yeah, you're absolutely correct. So I think Lancy Homes just builds with a very sustainable conscious from the very beginning, ensuring, again, that we're working with subtrades that are, we're not wasting materials. How can we be more efficient even from the very beginning? The solar, an option to be able to either lease or purchase the solar. Again, helping people understand that, there's ways to do that, from dual pane windows, from energy efficient appliances, from the insulation to keep the home cool. So everything is very thoughtfully produced from the very beginning. And, the other part is we build a high performance home, which does set us apart from other builders. And with that, you have, your home automation. So we build a smart home.
Oh, tell us more about smart homes.
A smart home at Lancy Homes is just from, the moment that you enter the home. So you have your keyless entry pads to your thermostats that are controlled by your phone, to your garage that, again, it could all be controlled from your phone. The home comes with an Apple. We do partner with Apple, but Android users also can manage their homes. And it's just a great function to be able to have this smart home, from telling it to, it's nighttime, turning lights off, making sure that if you're on the third floor, that, did I lock the door? You can check from an app on your phone if your front door is locked. You can tell who's, if you provide a code to someone, if they've been in your home. So just, very, a smart home is just, the wave of the future. So,
yeah. I meant to ask this a few minutes ago, but I've noticed on tracks of homes when they have 3 or 4 or 5 phases that there's slight changes. I'm guessing, I don't know, this isn't rocket science, but you interview the buyers and say, hey, what do you like? What did you like? And what do you love? And what did you not like? And what did you not love? And then you guys, the builder, actually make adjustments to the market, give the people what they want.
I have seen that over and over from project to project. And that's one of the things that I love about our builder. Lancy Homes does a great job at taking feedback, right? We're not perfect at everything, but our relationships with the architects that we decide to work with, giving them the feedback that we're receiving from our buyers. Because, for example, a salesperson, I would consider myself like front lines. So I'm getting the feedback from the home buyers that, gosh, they wish X, Y, Z. Then I provide that over to management. Management will provide it over to architect. And I've seen them walk projects 2 or 3 times, even after we've opened doors. And, maybe by phase 5, they've made a correction that, is something that we're able to do. So again, adapting to the needs of the buyer. That doesn't always happen at every project, but we look to improve.
Sure, the market. We're all at the mercy of the market.
To improve.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever I list a house, and if it's not selling for some reason, we typically, which is not necessarily the case the last 4 years, but in previous markets, if they're not selling, we get feedback from the buyers who have seen it and say, hey, why did the buyers not want to write? And I remember this one particular house, it was because the kitchen was original kitchen. So I talked to the seller. I told him, look, if we're not selling, we're going to be able to get feedback. We'll be able to know exactly why it's not selling. And sure enough, it was because the kitchen was older. And he said, yeah, but Darryl, what am I going to change it to? What color cabinets, for example? And he happened to work at Standard Pacific at the time. Oh. And I said, Jimmy, his name was Jimmy. And I said, Jimmy, just go check with your design person and ask them what is the most popular cabinet. And there's real data. So point being is that by far white cabinets were chosen. So of course I told him, I said, well, whatever she tells you to put in, use those cabinets. So you kind of do the same thing in terms of seeing what the market loves and you do more of it.
Absolutely. And you just, you hear it over and over and it tends to be the same thing. It'll be a trend. But yeah, I think that's the great part of it. I love that people get to design the space that's going to be their, ideal home in a sense, right? So you'll save pictures on, with Instagram and social media, you can say, you can create these like vision boards of what you want your home to look like. Or, there's all these like reels with people sharing what the trendiest like colors are in a kitchen or flooring. And yeah, I mean, people already come with their own ideas of what they want to select for their home. And then we try to adapt with them, in providing what's going to create their beautiful home.
On that note, I was surprised. I sold a little, kind of a smaller, it was a private builder, 8 homes. I went over when I met with him and he said, yeah, I'm a designer. He was telling me all the amenities and he said, yeah, I said, what's the flooring? He says, that's vinyl. And at first I thought vinyl, this was probably around 6, 7 years ago. And I thought vinyl, it just didn't sound like, and these were expensive homes. It didn't sound like a luxury item. He says, I said, really? And we were good friends. And he said, yeah, my designer said it's the hot ticket is this luxury vinyl. So you're seeing the same thing now? Is it still?
Oh yeah, it's definitely the trend, but not only that, the way that the luxury vinyl has been improved. Yeah, I guess manufactured. Yeah. I would say that 90% of the time people can't tell if they'll ask me, they'll like actually tap on the floor and say, hey, is this wood? What is this?
I had the same thing. Yeah. I listed this house probably 15 years ago, and I'm at the open house, and hardwood floors, and my wife came to the open house, and she said, I don't think those aren't hardwood floors. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean it's hardwood floors? You look at them. She goes, no, I think it's a tile. It's ceramic tile. And I said, and I did the same thing. I went down and knocked on it, touched it and everything. I said, oh my goodness, you're right. It's not. I thought it was wood floors.
They've come such a long way.
And they're so durable.
They're so durable. And that's the other thing, right? If you have pets, if you have kids, like you don't have to worry about the high maintenance of, wood floors are beautiful, but they do require a lot more maintenance. So in a home like this, it's a lock and go lifestyle, are the homes that we offer at Hudson. People want to be able to, drop their things, get outside, get outdoors, go hiking, travel. And people want
gated, safe and secure.
Safe.
So
people want easy living.
How's the pricing structure work? How does that walk us through that?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm glad we're having this conversation because we really thrive on our partnerships with our real estate agents, our brokers. They bring their clients to us. They entrust their clients to us. We get that feedback. Again, talking about feedback, right? Like adapting. We're very competitive for the market. We're in the mid 700s. So it really does give that affordability for people to be able to secure a home and eliminate the rental prices.
Sure.
People are comparing mortgage payment to what they're paying in rent. And, is it realistic to buy versus rent? And that's a big, it's a hot topic. And so we want to make it affordable for people to be able to secure real estate. And it's important for us to continue those relationships with our community because you guys are the ones that are seeing all the projects that are out there, or the real estate, what's going on. So our partnership is crucial because we're adapting as you guys are adapting out in the field as well.
So you mentioned 700. So you have 3 floor plans right now. You have one starts at around the 7s. Are they all 3 in the 7s or no? They go
No,
up?
they range. So like your 1 bedroom's going to be closer to like a 600 price point. Okay. Then we're like in the mid 7s and we go up to the 8s. So yeah.
And new homes. There's a big demand for new homes. I've got some good friends of mine that every home they've only bought a couple, but still only a new home track. There's a lot of clientele out there that just want new homes.
Well, and then you're also getting the people that walk in and you can see it in their faces from the time they walk into the sales office that they're just exhausted. And, just opening up a conversation with them and saying like, tell me about your experience. What's happening out there? Like, how long have you been in the market?
We've lost out on 17 homes.
There you go. That's exactly what they're saying. They're like, we have submitted offers and we haven't secured a home. And so my agent told me about new homes and here we are. And we're not doing the bidding war process, right? If the home is on the market, it's on a first come basis. So if people want it, they can secure it as long as they're qualified with our lender, which is Lansing Mortgage.
And you probably, and being that it's a large portion of the entry level market, you probably don't have contingent buyers too many. How do you guys deal with contingencies? I'm guessing that will evolve with the market. I know I've seen this doing 34 years of real estate where if it's a tough seller's market, okay, maybe we'll consider contingency. Where now it's such a good market in terms for sellers. Do you even take contingent offers? Tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
so you're right. I mean, that's that we kind of go with the flow of the market, and right now it's not a time for us to work with contingencies because we even talk to sellers that are, oh, I have a home to sell. When do you plan on getting it on the market? I mean, there's just so many options now, right? So get your home on the market. More than likely, it's going to sell.
Right.
Come back. We'll figure something out for you. Some people get qualified and realize, hey, I can qualify without having to put the home on the market. So I'm going to do that too. But yeah, this time the market's been strong, so we haven't had to do that.
Are there any special financing or incentive programs? I'm guessing that's the same thing that changes with the markets.
Well, that's the other thing about, new homes. It just depends on, what the builder's going to offer. And that's been surprising a lot of people that walk in the door. I'm offering a 4.99 FHA 30-year program.
FHA approved.
FHA approved,
For
VA
those-
approved.
Oh, for those listening, that's kind of a big deal. It's very, very helpful because generally speaking, all houses are VA and FHA approved as long as they're not got major issues. And in condos and townhomes, though, not all of them are FHA and VA approved. That's a big deal because that widens your pool of buyers dramatically. For even if nothing else, for resale, that's really good.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm so glad that you expanded on that because it's true, right? Sometimes we get stuck in an office thinking like, oh, we're offering this amazing interest rate, but some buyers don't even know that they can enter into the market with a condo that is FHA approved. So we have to remember to share that information with our agents that are working with clients because some people aren't aware of that.
And just so people realize if they don't, FHA allows you to get in with a very small down payment, relatively speaking, 3.5%, I believe is what it is, 3.5%. And then VA, of course, you have to be a veteran, but that's zero down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that's a really big benefit. I love that.
And then we have Lansing Mortgage is our mortgage company, and our loan officers are well versed. And I mean, really, we have a product for every buyer profile. We just have to make the connection to our loan officers, and then they take it from there. I mean, we give the basic information, but we have awesome team members on our team to help.
I'm guessing that this next question is going to vary. What's the expected timeline? And I'm guessing that will depend on where you are. But is there an answer to that question? What's the expected timeline? If someone comes into your complex and says, "Great, I want this plan too," when can we move in?
So that's actually part of my discovery, right? So like when you walk in the door, I introduce myself. I want to get to know a little bit about your situation. So we ask a few questions to determine like, what's your time frame? How long have you been in the market? Are you relocating from somewhere? Are you selling a home? Are you in an apartment? When does that lease expire? So that I can point them in the right direction.
And if someone says, "Hey, I'm ready now,"
let's go. So we usually do have some sort of a 30-day option available. Right now we're probably ranging like 30, 60 days for homes. At Hudson. So we
and
have
not to mention more
future.
Coming next in the
Exactly.
future. I'm pretty well aware of the schools in Orange County, but tell us more about what's the school district that this is tracked.
Yeah, so we are in the Placentia, Yorba Linda School District. So we're super grateful for the schools. I mean,
Very
it's
good.
very good schools. So we are grateful for that. And a lot of the homeowners that actually come are aware. I would say that Placentia is very unique. A lot of the buyers that are purchasing have lived in the area.
You know what? Because you're right there on the cusp of Valencia. Well, you're probably either Valencia. You prefer Valencia?
So the high school is actually Esperanza.
Oh, it is Esperanza.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you're right kind of in the middle. I could see you going to either Esperanza. In fact, it's funny. I sold a house across the street from Esperanza, and the property line for Anaheim and Yorba Linda literally went through the house's lot. But anyway, so you're not too far from Esperanza.
We're not too far from it. I mean, all this, the elementary, middle, and high school are within like a mile and a half radius.
Oh,
So most people, it's funny. We get buyers that say, "Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with the area. I went to Esperanza High School," or my parents did, or so people tend to stay. They're from Yorba Linda, Placentia. They're I feel like they're lifers.
I don't door knock as much as I used to, but I would door knock oftentimes to solicit, say, "Hey, you want to sell your house?" Or if I had a buyer for a particular track, I'd call. And it was amazing on how many people I'd knock on their doors and, "Oh yeah, we've been here for 40 years," or, "Well, I went to high school with a person," or whatever. It's kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of that in that area. Yeah, and then of course we've got, your well-known, higher education. So you've got Chapman and Cal State Fullerton. So lots of great options for
Especially,
schools.
yeah, because since the affordability level is so good, You can just, instead of renting for your kids going to Cal State or Chapman and they're out of the area, just buy them this place. There's your housing for
There's
the
your
next 4
housing
years.
instead of a dorm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes good sense. So tell us more about that location. Tell us
Yeah.
the pros and cons, or what are the pros, obviously, of
Yeah.
that location?
I mean, I'm all about, and this goes back to, I don't know how far back, but people always talk
She's
about
only 22 years old.
Right,
So, I mean,
right.
how long can it be?
So my whole life, really, people always talk about location,
Mhm.
right? So people need to know that it's going to be an accessible area, right? So whether you're working from home, because people are doing this hybrid thing now where people, work some days from home, other days they have to go into the office. We have a lot of young professionals. We tend to see people that are, in healthcare, engineers, technology.
Well, because you're very close to both the 91 and the
The
57
91, the
freeway.
57, yeah. And then not only that, we're close to John Wayne Airport. So if you're a person that needs to, use the airport for traveling or even for fun, we're close to the metro station. So really, you're going north or south. I mean, you've got it covered. So it's a really nestled in an amazing location to be able to get around.
Location.
Yeah.
So what's the future of that particular project? So you've got, I think you were saying there are 90 residents that are already filled with buyers that are already living there. There's 40 that are available, and then you have future. Tell us what's in the future.
We have a very active community already. Like you said, we have homeowners enjoying their new area. We have homes that are going to be coming to the market. We expect to be there probably to the end of the year, maybe till beginning of next year.
2024.
2024, yep. And then definitely expanding into another pocket area of Placentia. Details coming soon, but it's going to provide very similar to what we're offering now. So same type of floor plans. We talked about, maybe enhancing some things that, we know we need to, but yeah, we're super excited, and we're excited to continue to expand. I mean, the style of living that we offer just on the architecture side is modern. So we really are bringing a new flavor to Placentia. I feel like, Placentia tends to be more of a historic town. And so this type of building styles, it's very modern. People love it. People love the newness of it.
No, they're beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What advice would you give any potential buyers considering a home in this new development? Other than, of course, they need to come visit, but what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Come visit, tour, right? We have models. It's like, come in. There's no reason not to come in. You get to see what you're going to get. But most importantly is don't wait. I mean, I feel like there's never going to be or feel like the right time. There's always going to be an element of life that's going to feel like, oh gosh, are we ready to be homeowners? And the reality of it is I just don't think there's a perfect time. If we can make it work, if we can make that ideal monthly payment work for you, if the home fits your lifestyle, do it. I mean, take the leap of faith that, it's going to bring long-term stability and wealth to your life.
I'm reminded of some clients. I have a slew of different age ranges as clients, and I know some of my clients who have been in their houses a long time. They'd talk to me about when they were buying it, and so many times they said, yeah, the payment was $450 a month, and we really only had $430 a month to really spend on it, but we made it work. And I'm just thinking those numbers are so dramatically different nowadays, so you just got to put proportional in there. But they are all extremely happy that they did pull the trigger and buy that property, because as we all know, California real estate, it hasn't failed. I mean, there's been periods, obviously, with the roller coasters, but this market's just been really good. And it's such a great, I'm so happy that you guys are bringing that affordability aspect into the area, because we need that. I mean, some of these homes that I see going for over $1 million now, it's hard to find a house under $1 million, frankly, on this day and age.
Yeah, I agree. And the other part is, with our loan officers, they have like this saying. It's like marry the home, and date the rate. Yeah. And it's true, right? As things shift in the world, in the market, things will change, but you can have that home, that fixed price of the home.
Well, I know I had a good friend of mine buy a house, and he was a little stressed, kind of like what you were talking about. And this is 10, 12 years ago. And he was telling me what his payment is, and it's probably half of what his rent would be for that house.
Yeah, and I feel like especially in the last year, there's just there seems to be a lot of fear, right? There's a lot of fear because people are getting so much. I mean, there's just so much information out there. And the reality of it is it's important to work with, real estate professionals that can break it down and simplify the process. It doesn't need to be that scary.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily as much of an investment. It's not as though you're buying a stock and you really have to time that stock because this is your home. Everybody has to live somewhere.
Yeah. And it's you're investing in yourself, right? If you purchase a home, when you're making that payment every single month, it's like, okay, I'm giving back to myself.
Yeah.
So,
well, in closing, let's tell the audience, how would they be able to get a hold of you? What's the best route to do that? Mention your website again and everything.
Yes, of course. So again, Adriana Conde with Lancy Homes. I'm in the community Hudson in Placentia. You can visit us, every single day. We're open from 10 until 6. Our last tour is at 5:30. You can find all of our information on our website at lancyhomes.com. Schedule tours, walk in. If you are working with an agent, make sure that you are bringing your agent with you on the very first visit, because that's how we connect the clients with the agent so that we can do the participation. Oh, and that's another thing. We offer 2% broker cooperation. So we want to make sure that we're giving back to our community as well.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that you agreed to do this, and I'm so grateful. So thank you for coming here today. This was very informative, and I just am so grateful for you being here. So thank you again, and I really appreciate it. So
thank you. This is so helpful. I mean, I've been with Lancy Homes for 5.5 years, and it's the first time I've ever done a podcast. And, the more information we can get out to the public, that's what we're about.
Well, I think the audience loves this. I know people are always interested in where are the new home tracks, what's going on in the community. So thank you. All right, everybody, signing off. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you liked it and we provided some valuable information, subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And again, thanks for watching or listening. And signing off for our next show, which will be released pretty soon. Take care now.